thanks for joining us again. This is the second part of our virtual Juvenile Summit. We're going to keep doing this until we can see one another face to face, so stay tuned for more emails. Last week, Dr. Yvonne Murray-Larrier from GC Scored helped us begin our journey for self-care. You know, we are a team and we all have to be healthy. And our hope is that you not only get credits for continuing legal education and social work education, but you learn and you grow. Dr. Larrier.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back. It is a good thing to be alive in the land of the living. And what we're going to do now is what we did last week. And I'm going to share my screen here. How's everybody doing?
Good.
So, wonderful. Good, good, good. So in the chat, we're going to rumorize. And after we rumorize, I'm going to do a quick review, and then we're going to get into what we have planned for today. We have some more fun activities to help you care for yourself. And so before we go on, in the chat, I want you to write what you're feeling. Remember, feelings have no intellect. They are directly controlled by your thinking patterns. So what are you feeling right now? And I'm going to pull up my Rheumatoid Emometer to give you some words, some emotional words to write, to say what it is you're feeling today. What is it you're feeling right now? And we'll take 2 minutes to do this, and as I'm reading the chat, I do want to take some time, encourage dialogue or discussion or sharing. There's some intense emotions in the chat. It would be unethical of me and unkind of me to just read the chat and keep on moving. So you all shared how you're feeling, and thank you for sharing. Anyone wants to share openly, audibly, what's on their hearts and mind? And I see some frustrated, stressed, worried, sad, overwhelmed. Please share if you feel comfortable.
I can share, Dr. Larrier.
Okay.
So I am feeling a little anxious and overwhelmed. I've got about 2.5 weeks and I will be taking my licensure test. So that's got me a little stressed out.
Congratulations.
Which sort of impacts other aspects of my life, but I am hopeful and trying to stay positive and keeping that mindset of I'm going to be successful.
You are already successful, my dear. You're going to be just fine. Just fine. Thank you so much for sharing, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Okay.
I'll share. I'm feeling very happy today. I woke up in just a good mood. Even though I got some bad news about my son, I was still in a happy mood. I just took a client to get his driving license, and he successfully passed the test. So I'm just been in a happy mood.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Titus. If there's anybody else, if there's no one else, we will go on with the presentation for today. All right. So last week we defined who we are. We talked about self-awareness. Then we talked about hardest battle you're ever going to fight is the battle to be just you by Leo Buscaglia. Knowing yourself, to be able to truly care for yourself, the first thing is to know who self is. We went through the definition for self-awareness, and the definition is the ability to accurately recognize and understand your thoughts, interactions, mindsets, and emotions, your personal goals, ambitions, and values. We said it also means, self-awareness also means honestly evaluating and assessing your thoughts, your strengths, your weaknesses, ambitions, while seeing the relationship between your thoughts, feelings, and actions, and the impact they have on you as you navigate through life. We looked at our markers. What are your markers? What are your mindsets, activities, ambitions, relationships, knowledge, emotions, resources, skills, and strategies? We then looked at self-care. Self-care is not selfish. It is an ethical imperative. And we did some activities. And I hope you have your journal, your Rheumatoid guided activity journal with you today. And as I'm talking, I would like to know that you're coloring or completing some activities or writing in your journal. These are some of the self-care quotes. Take rest. A field that has rested gives a bountiful crop. As you grow older, you will discover that you have two hands, one for helping yourself, the other for helping others. Then the last self-care quote we have was, self-love is an ocean and your heart is a vessel. Make it full, and any excess will spill over into the lives of the people you hold dear, but you must come first. We defined what self-care is. It generally refers to paying adequate attention to one's social, emotional, physical, psychological, and spiritual health. We talked about it being intentional and conscious, and today we're going to talk about the 8 P's of self-care. We said self-care is important because you are a masterpiece. You're created to do good works, and that every masterpiece requires care, and you must handle yourself with care. Truly caring for yourself requires that you know who self is first and foremost, and how you treat yourself gives others permission to treat you likewise. So that was last week's installment that I wanted to review today. So let's talk today about 8 P's of self-care. So the first P is preserving, to keep safe, to keep alive, to keep safe and to keep alive. Here's a quote that I like to use. I like quotes. Do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace, the Dalai Lama. So what about preserving self-care, preserving yourself as part of self-care? What you want to be able to do is to keep your mind safe, keep your social emotional endeavors, making sure that you are only allowing certain thoughts to come into your mind, being vigilant, right? Preserving your environment so that it can nurture, it can keep alive your energy, your positivity. What that means is there are going to be times you're going to have to let some people go. You're going to have to let some activities go in order to preserve, in order to keep alive your spirit, in order to keep alive your dreams, your ambitions. This is an active self-care activity, all right? So do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. So you're going to preserve, you're going to keep that alive, keep it safe. To protect, protecting is the second P of self-care. Protecting something is to cover it, to shield it, to guard it from exposure. You have more control over who you are and what you do and your thoughts than many of us believe we have control. And so you get to decide and determine the level of exposure you allow to come into your sphere. And so you want to protect self-care. Part of self-care is to protect your thoughts. Again, it is where everything about life emanates from, right? Guarding your thoughts, it is where everything about life emanates from. Promoting, to cultivate or encourage or foster or nurture. Self-compassion is simply giving the same kindness to yourself that you would give to others. Christopher Germer. Self-care. You're promoting, you're cultivating, making sure that you are nurturing yourself. And remember, we talked last week and I just reviewed, in order to provide self-care, you have to first know who self is. Then we want to persevere, to persist in spite of opposition. So you may have to sometimes persevere when you find you may not be getting the time off you need. You may be having a lot of paperwork to do at work. You may be, and a lot of opposition, a lot of obstacles may come in your way. But in spite of it, you have to persevere in order to be able to care for oneself. And the quote by this Japanese proverb says, fall 7 times and stand up 8. Fall 7 times and stand up 8. Prayer. Prayer is having a conversation with God as a power greater than yourself. Prayer is less about changing the world than it is about changing ourselves. That's an anonymous quote. Having a conversation with a power that's higher than you, bigger than you, greater than you, so that it can help you deal with the issues of life as we know it, as we experience it. We know that there's somebody bigger than us who can help us navigate the situations that overwhelm us, that cause us to be sad, that cause us to be under the weather, all of those things. Knowing that you have someone bigger than you who is in control of things is a way to provide self care, because it helps you to rest in that person who is more powerful than you. So, partnering to join or collaborate with another. Helen Keller says, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Knowing who you're partnering with, whether it's in your personal life or in professional life, is so important to collaborate, work together, get energy and synergy from others who are looking at situations, who have similar missions, similar goals. You want to be able to partner, because that helps you bear some of the burden, and it speaks to one's self-care. So partnering is another technique for self-care. Patience, the ability to be tenacious, long-suffering, stick to itiveness in spite of. You want to be able to be patient. And the anonymous author says, a person who masters patience masters everything else. Being patient with yourself is a big self-care technique. Positivity, favorable, optimistic. Rodolfo Costa says, cultivate an optimistic mind. Use your imagination. Always consider alternatives and dare to believe that you can make possible what others think is impossible. So those are the 8 P's of self-care. I'll go over: preserve, to keep safe, keep alive; protect, to guard, to cover yourself from toxic exposure, in not just in environmental toxicity, but also relational toxicity, also professional in terms of the workplace toxicity, all of those. Protect, guard, promote, cultivate self-compassion, then persevere. You want to persist in spite of opposition. So you've heard this said, if you fail, keep trying. And you want to, even in the face of maybe not getting time off, or maybe being given too much work, or maybe work that is not representative of what you've been trained to do, if you believe that it is creating stress for you, one of the ways to do that is to persevere in whatever path you want to take that is going to help you provide care for yourself. And then the last 4, prayer. Having somebody outside of yourself that's bigger than you, a power and a being that's bigger than you, is a great way to provide self-care. Partnering, joining, collaborating with people who are supportive, patient, sticking to the plan, and positivity, cultivating a mindset of optimism. All right. So you can keep working on this as we continue the meeting. But what this tool does is that it provides ideas about how to practice self-care across multiple domains. So we have physical self-care, there is psychological self-care, emotional self-care, there is relational self-care, spiritual self-care, workplace self-care. So these are some ideas. All of this is not going to work for everybody all this at the same time. So this is a tool that I would like you to revisit. Let this be a working document. Let it be an ongoing process where you continuously assess yourself to make sure, and it gives you some ideas. It also asks you to come up with a self-care plan. As on page 12, it says, if you can create your own self-care plan and check back to see how things are going, again, assessing and reassessing, because remember, you are important, and self-care is something that is really not optional, especially being in the line of work that we are all in. It is really not an option, because if you want to be your best self, you first of all, like I said earlier, you have to first know yourself, but you also have to be able to honestly and accurately assess who you're providing this care for, what works for you. And so I encourage you all to continue working on this and create a self-care plan. Don't let the end of this session of my talk be the end of this document, the end of your engagement with this document. Let this be a beginning. Let this be the beginning of, I am going to be taking care of myself. What I want to kind of get a feel for is, what are some of the, as you were doing this activity, and those of you who may have done it earlier, what are some of the thoughts that went through your mind as you were doing this?
Somebody chatted, we don't take care of ourselves like we do other people.
Right. Yeah. And what that does, it gives permission for people to treat you the way you're treating yourself. This is why Magistrate Dominique provided these 2 hours last week and this week to actually be a space for you to start taking care of yourself. And that's why we're doing activities for self-care and not just talking about it. Anybody else?
As looking through that, I was noticing that I already do a lot of the things for myself, like take walks and limit my news exposure and all that kind of stuff. But there was other ones that kind of gave me ideas to what to do, something else to do. So it actually kind of showed me that I was already doing some things, and then like offered some things that I'll be able to try.
Wonderful. Hi, Lisa. Okay, good. Anybody else? Because we're gonna go on to our game.
I had a similar experience to Lisa's. There were some that I already knew that I was using or doing, but then there are others and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe something to consider doing either more consistently or being more mindful of how consistently or inconsistently I'm using certain coping mechanisms or mindfulness practices.
Okay, great. Thanks for sharing, Tara. So here's what I would like you to do as you will continue to work on this. I would like you to choose at least one activity that you haven't been doing, any of these categories, whether it's physical, emotional, relational, psychological, spiritual, professional self-care, and be committed to that for the month of February, the shortest month in the year. So choose something that you can do for how many days? 28 days? It's not even 30 days. Commit to that. If I can get a show of hands to see who's going to take this challenge with me. All right. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. So let's do this. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's prioritize ourselves. So now we have a fun game that we're gonna play, right, Kari? Okay. So Danita, I'm gonna spin here for you. Danita, you have to sing a song for us now.
I was hoping I didn't get that one. I don't know. What song? Let me think.
No.
Well, can I spin again?
You want to spin again?
Yeah, I can't sing, seriously.
Okay. Do you want to pass it to somebody else?
No, spin again, I'll do that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's spin again.
If I get a song, I'll do that one.
Okay, so you can't do this right now, but
Right.
are you going to commit to taking walks?
I definitely am, and that's in fact one that I wrote down for the commitment.
Awesome. All right.
Okay, I have
Let's give
Kurt.
her some snaps.
Sure.
Let's give her some snaps to encourage her as she starts taking walks, guys. Come on, let's give her some.
That was me, guys. Okay.
Yes, let's give her some snaps. Yep. All right, who do we have now?
I have Kurt Sure next on my screen.
Kurt, all right, Kurt, let's see what you're gonna get. Oh, that should be easy, smiling.
Got a good enough smile?
There you go. And Kurt, I want you to smile with people who you don't even know, okay?
I often do that.
Awesome. Smile a while and give your face a rest.
Good idea.
All right. Okay, who do we have next?
Trisha Link is next on my screen. I'm just calling you guys out. You're going to hate me by the end of this.
Oh, they'll be okay. Trisha,
She's
I
laughing.
want, I want you to just start laughing out loud right now. And then,
There you go.
very good, good. And I think everybody should join. Let's just laugh. Let's just do this. Is all laugh. Turn your mics on, and let's just all just bust out laughing. Well, there you go. How does that feel?
It feels pretty good.
It does, doesn't it?
It's good.
Yeah. You know, it activates when you laugh out loud, it activates chemical transmitters and it creates the endorphins. It helps the endorphins to become activated and to move around our bodies. So you just give yourself a high. Who's next?
Maria Elizabeth.
Maria Elizabeth. All right, take a break. Take a break. All right, does everybody have something to drink next to them? Let's take a drink break. Let's take a drink break.
Shoot.
And let's remember to take breaks throughout the day, whatever it is, whether it's water, a walk, a laugh break, bathroom breaks. Because I remember when I was an elementary school counselor in Atlanta, it would be the end of the day. I wouldn't have taken a lunch break, a bathroom break, nothing. So remember to take breaks. All right, brain breaks. Okay, who's next?
Let's see. I'm gonna randomly pick some.
Let's do
Kenyatta.
Rob. Let's do Rob.
Okay.
All right, Rob.
Come on, massage.
Sing a song, Rob.
All right. Take me home, country road to the place. Everybody, I belong, West Virginia. Mountain Mama. Okay, that's it.
There you go. Thank you. Sing a
You're
song.
welcome.
All right. Who do we have next?
I called out Kenyatta if you want to go now.
All right, Kenyatta. Oh.
Oh, I knew it. I don't know any good songs.
This wheel is rigged.
It
It's
is.
great.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. That's all. That's it.
There you go. There you go. All right. Let's see. I'm going to call Jan Damaris Morris.
I knew you were.
Oh, Jan.
Oh, everybody should be getting on their feet. I'm just saying.
There we go. Let's get it happening. Do we have some type of music to get us dancing?
Oh, you missed it.
Yeah, I wasn't that prepared.
Okay.
Jan?
I did a little John, whatever is Travolta and a little Tinkerbell. So we'll go with that.
Oh, okay. All right. I think we should all try to do something. Let's do something. Let's follow the leader. So Jan, you instruct us and let's do whatever Jan says to do.
I can't see the screen because I can't see you.
You can't see the screen.
Yeah, I can't see dance.
Oh, okay.
Like do done. Oh, I think everybody should get a massage. Let's see.
No, I'm saying you show us how to do the dance moves and we will follow you.
Yvonne, I'm going to get even with you one of these days. I just want you to know.
That's okay. I know you're a good dancer, Jan.
I am not. Okay, everybody should be standing up. I need to see people on their feet.
There we go. Let's get this dance session on. Everybody.
It will not be super threatening. Okay?
All right.
Put your hands above your head and turn around. And then slowly go back to your seat.
Thank you, Dad. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All of this, guys, is self-care. It is self-care. I don't want you to lose focus. We're having fun, but I want you to keep in mind, these are ways that you can use, especially for February, as we've committed to that. All right. Okay, who's next? Let's see who we want to choose.
Let's see. Lisa, right?
Lisa, right. All right. She already does that.
I already do that. Yep, already taken care of.
Good, good. We can do 3 more people.
If you'd like to volunteer, feel free to unmute.
Yes.
Can we volunteer someone?
You sure can.
Candace Emma Dorfa.
Candace, okay, let's see what Candace got. That's good.
All right, here we go.
Go Candace. Go Candace. Go Candace.
Good. Good job. Thanks, Candace.
You're welcome.
I'm sure you're going to get back at Danita.
I absolutely will.
There's a lot of revenge going on. That's not a self-care. That's not a self-care attribute, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to spin and hopefully we get something that is not. We already did that one. I'm going to spin again. Get something different. Prioritize. All right, that's something we should all try and do. Prioritize ourselves. Prioritize our self-care. It's important. All right, one more. Who wants to be the last one?
Magistrate.
Judge has a great laugh anyway, so yeah, I think she should laugh.
All right, so let's hear the judge lead us in a laugh out loud moment. All right. Awesome.
Perfect ending.
Perfect ending. Yes. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. And I just hope that you all were able to take a load off, relax. As I say to my students, chillax. You know, it's not that deep. It's not that serious. Don't take yourself so seriously. Laugh out loud. Take a walk. Take a nap. You know, light some scented candles. Go for a walk. Help someone. All of those are ways you can care for yourself. And so that's it for me today. I don't know if Magistrate has anything she wants to say.
I want to say thank you. This is a much neglected part of our lives, and thank you for reminding us of that. Should we do a virtual applause? Yay.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if people could, before you leave, as you're leaving, if you can say what you are feeling right now in the chat, that would be awesome. Just, yeah, go ahead.
I also want you to stay tuned. Our next virtual session, you know, as I mentioned, we are a team, and Dr. Larrier mentioned that with the quote from Helen Keller. What we can do together is so much. And our next session will be about the Juvenile Detention Alternative Initiative. We have the state director who is going to talk to us about that collaborative initiative. So watch your emails, and we've got more to come. And if you've got any ideas, if you want Dr. Larrier back, or if you have other ideas, email me or any member of the team. Carrie, Sergio Lopez from DCS, Sean McCrindle from Basher, Maureen Lorman at JDC, and Ray Caples from JDI. Email us, and we'd like to put on a program for you. Thank you so much, Dr. Larrier.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
And Carrie is amazing with the technology. I think she
is.
Applause too. Yay.
Definitely. She does need an applause. She absolutely does. Thank you. Thank you, Carrie.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.